Modding has been around for decades, changing the way we play games, shaping entire communities, and sometimes even influencing the gaming industry itself. But how did it all begin, and where's it heading? In this deep dive, we'll explore the fascinating history of video game modding, from its humble beginnings to modern day impacts on the gaming industry. The world of modding isn't just about tweaking a few files to make games run smoother or adding cosmetic skins. It's been a driving force behind some of the gaming industry's most revolutionary moments, whether turning existing games into an entirely new experience, fixing flawed mechanics, or introducing experimental concepts that developers never envisioned. Modding has proven time and time again that the industry thrives when a community takes charge of their favourite games. The origins of modding stretch back further than most people realise. Before the era of graphical gaming, early programmers and hobbyists were modifying text-based adventure games, inserting their own dialogue, altering progression paths, and tweaking balance mechanics. Even before official support for modding, players found ways to hack and adjust code, demonstrating a desire to reshape and personalise digital experiences. One of the first significant milestones in modding history was LoadRunner in 1983, which introduced a built-in level editor, enabling players to design and share custom-created puzzles. This simple feature paved the way for what would later become the concept of user-generated content, showcasing the potential of player-driven creativity. However, it wasn't until Doom in 1993 that modding truly exploded into a mainstream gaming culture. id Software took a bold step by structuring Doom's WAD file in such a way that it allowed players to create custom levels, enemy behaviours, and entirely new game modes. The longevity of Doom was no longer dictated by the developers, but by the passion of the player community. During the early days of modding, before centralised modding websites, sharing modifications was an arduous process. Bulletin board systems, or BBS, became crucial hubs where modders could distribute their work, troubleshoot issues, and collaborate with like-minded creators. These were the grassroots communities that laid the foundation for what would later become sites like Nexus Mods and ModDB. As gaming and technology advanced, modders began moving beyond simple tweaks and into total conversions, where entire games were redefined. While early mods focused on modifying weapons, adjusting difficulty, or altering textures, total conversion projects sought to transform existing games into something entirely new. Quake in 1996 provided one of the first engines designed for deep customization, opening the doors for ambitious modding projects like Quake Rally, which replaced the shooter's mechanics with racing gameplay. The true turning point arrived with a game I'm pretty sure we all know, Half-Life in 1998, created by Valve. This provided extensive tools that empowered modders to develop entirely new games within the Half-Life engine, leading to the creation of Counter-Strike, the game that arguably kick-started the modern esports culture. Counter-Strike's evolution demonstrated that a community-driven project could rival and even surpass AAA releases, and statements like that are becoming more and more true in 2025. Originally a multiplayer mod, it grew into a standalone title that reshaped the way first-person shooters were designed and played. Similarly, Team Fortress Classic started as a mod before inspiring Team Fortress 2, proving that modding wasn't just about experimentation, it was now a legitimate entryway into the industry. Other groundbreaking total conversions also emerged, such as Black Mesa, which was a complete remake of Half-Life developed entirely by fans at Nerine. At Fate's engine, which transformed Oblivion into an entirely new RPG experience with fresh mechanics and world building, these projects started to blur the lines between hobbyist creations and professional grade titles, reinforcing the value of modding as a legitimate art form. For years, modding existed in niche communities, thriving on forums and dedicated websites, but remained largely ignored by game studios. That all changed when developers realised that modding could dramatically extend the lifespan of their games and enhance community engagement. Bethesda was at the forefront of this movement, recognising the importance of supporting modders in their flagship titles. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind in 2002 introduced modding tools that enables players to craft new lands, quests, mechanics and custom expansions. The support grew exponentially with Oblivion in 2006, which attracted a massive modding audience with streamlined tools. Then came Skyrim in 2011, the undisputed king of modded games. The creation kit allowed for virtually limitless modifications, transforming Skyrim into a continually evolving sandbox driven by the creativity of its fans. With platforms like Steam Workshops making mod installation effortless, modding reached a wider audience than ever before. Nexus Mods became the central hub for Bethesda titles, housing hundreds of thousands of unique modifications, while ModDB expanded into one of the largest mod libraries across multiple genres. Nexus also now falls into that category. Modding's growing popularity led to contrasting responses from the industry. Some developers embraced modding as a cornerstone of their design philosophy, while others attempt to monetize or restrict it. Bethesda's Creation Club sparked controversy by introducing paid mods, raising debates over whether the community-driven content should remain free or be controlled by others. Meanwhile, indie games thrived thanks to modding communities. Titles like Stardew Valley saw extensive modding support, with mechanics improved far beyond the developer's original design. Overall, mods kept older games alive, such as Fallout New Vegas, which saw huge fan-driven updates, enhancing everything from graphics to questlines. Modding has profoundly shaped the gaming industry, influencing game design, community engagement, and even entire games like we mentioned earlier. Many of today's popular gaming trends originated as mods before evolving into fully fledged titles. The Battle Royale craze, for example, traces back to mods for Arma 2, while the MOBA genre was born from the Defense of the Ancients DotA in Warcraft 3, later inspiring things like League of Legends and Dota 2. These innovations prove that player creativity can drive the industry forward, often in ways developers never anticipated. Beyond innovation, modding also plays a crucial role in game preservation. Titles like Morrowind, Fallout New Vegas, and Half-Life 2 still remain relevant decades later thanks to things like visual upgrades, bug fixes, and massive community expansions. Some mods even repair broken games, such as the unofficial Skyrim patch, which addressed countless bugs overlooked by Bethesda. Without modding, many of these classic games may have faded into obscurity. Modding has come a long way since the days of swapping textures and tweaking difficulty settings. As technology advances, the future of modding does look brighter than ever before, with emerging trends promising even greater accessibility, creativity, and industry influence. While modding has always thrived on community ingenuity, the next wave of tools and platforms will push the boundaries of what is possible. AI is set to revolutionise modding, making it easier for both newcomers and veteran creators to modify games in profound ways. AI-assisted tools can generate textures, animation, and even full levels, dramatically reducing development time and allowing more people to participate in game modding without requiring extensive technical knowledge. Modding communities are already experimenting with AI-generated assets, and as these technologies improve, modding could become as simple as giving an AI a prompt and watching it generate content on the fly. This opens the doors for those who may have previously struggled with coding or game design but can still possess creative visions that they would love to bring to life. Another exciting frontier is the rise of procedural modding, where game modification can use procedural generation to create dynamic, limitless experiences. Imagine a mod for Skyrim that doesn't just add new locations but instead generates an entirely new landscape every time you play, offering unique adventures without needing extensive manual development. Tools like Unreal 5 and Unity are providing modders with more advanced and intuitive resources than ever before, allowing for smoother workflows and even photorealistic design possibilities. Meanwhile, the lines between modding and indie game development continue to blur. Historically, modders have created projects that eventually become full-fledged commercial games, such as Counter-Strike, DayZ, or Dota 2. With industry recognition of modding talent steadily growing, we may see more studios embracing community-created expansions and content as a legitimate part of their development strategy. Some companies are even partnering with modders to create officially endorsed mods, demonstrating the increasing value of modding with professional game development. Despite these exciting developments, of course challenges remain. Mod monetization and corporate restrictions pose threats to the free nature of modding. The controversy surrounding paid mods suggests that companies may attempt to control the ecosystem, potentially limit accessibility for those who do want to create content without any financial barriers. The community must remain vigilant, ensuring that modding stays open and collaborative as possible, rather than becoming yet another corporate-controlled revenue stream. Modding isn't just a technical skill, it's a gateway to creativity, problem solving and innovation. It empowers players to reshape their own gaming experiences, proving that games don't just have to be fixed in their original design. At its core, modding is freedom. The freedom to experiment, create and challenge industry norms. For those with a passion for gaming development, modding is the perfect entry point. Many successful developers started as modders, learning the fundamentals of programming, level design and storytelling by modifying existing games. Unlike traditional development, modding allows for an immediate experimentation where creators can tweak mechanics and see the results instantly, fostering a hands-on approach to gaming creation. Beyond personal development, modding is also about community and collaboration. It brings together people with shared interests where ideas evolve through shared feedback and teamwork. Whether you're building new maps, crafting lore expansions, refining game mechanics, whatever it may be, every contribution adds something meaningful to a game's legacy, even the weird mods. Most importantly, modding allows us to keep these games alive. That is more and more relevant in today's world. Many beloved titles remain playable for years, sometimes even decades, because modders continue fixing, enhancing and evolving them long after official support ends. Games like Fallout New Vegas, Morrowind and Deus Ex remain culturally relevant, not just because of corporate backing, but because their communities refuse to let them fade into obscurity. Through modding, players can ensure that a game is never just a consumer-driven experience, but an interactive and evolving form of art. For anyone hesitant to take the plunge, remember this: every great modder started out not knowing anything about coding, level design or asset creation. The beauty of modding is that you learn as you go, and in doing so, you unlock an entirely new world of possibilities. Installing mods isn't just about enhancing your gaming experience, it's about discovering hidden gems, enjoying new adventures and supporting a passionate, creative community. Today we'll explore why installing mods can transform how you play games, not just as a gamer, but as someone who appreciates ingenuity and artistry. Imagine taking a game you love and uncovering an entirely new way to experience it. Mods let you customize, innovate and expand games, bringing fresh ideas to worlds you thought you knew inside out. It's not just about playing, it's about embracing the creativity of countless others and enjoying the amazing results. Whether it's subtle enhancements or major overhauls, mods have the power to make every gaming moment feel fresh and exciting, keeping the joy of discovery alive. Mods allow you to experience games in a way that you never thought possible. From graphical overhauls that breathe new life into older titles, to gameplay tweaks that add fresh mechanics, mods can completely transform how you interact with a game. Beyond just improving games, mods also have the power to reimagine them entirely. Some mods are so ambitious that they create new stories, worlds and mechanics that feel like entirely separate games. For example, there are mods that turn tactical shooters into intense horror experiences, or modify racing games to include fantasy elements. Installing mods isn't just an upgrade, it's a gateway to countless possibilities that make gaming more immersive, engaging and unpredictable. Installing mods is surprisingly simple, even for newcomers. Many games support mods directly through platforms like Steam Workshop or third-party sites with dedicated modding communities. Clear instructions and user-friendly tools usually ensure that anyone can start modding with minimal effort. There are, of course, outlying exceptions. From downloading mod managers to following step-by-step guides, the process is often straightforward. In most cases, it's as simple as selecting the mod you want, clicking a button and launching your game. You don't need to have advanced technical knowledge or programming skills, just curiosity and a little bit of patience. Every mod you install opens the door to exciting new possibilities. Even if you encounter an unfamiliar setup, modding platforms will often feature intuitive interfaces that make navigation fairly simple. With just a few clicks, your favourite game can be transformed into something entirely new. Tutorials, platforms and dedicated modding guides are always just a search away, offering the reassurance and confidence you need to make every complex installation feel effortless. Starting your journey into modding is easier than it seems, and I promise you anybody can do it. Mods are a gift from creative minds behind them. Each mod represents someone's vision, a unique interpretation of a game's design to share their ideas with the gaming world. By installing mods, you're participating in a collaborative effort to enhance the gaming experience for everybody. Mod creators work tirelessly to design new mechanics, craft detailed assets, and troubleshoot issues to make their own creations run smoother, and also the ones of the original developers. Every mod installed is a testament to the creativity, dedication, and talent of these developers. Installing mods isn't just about enjoying results, it's about appreciating the artistry that makes them possible. The beauty of mods lies in the synergy between creators and players. It's a cycle of creativity where gamer feedback inspires modders to refine their work, and modders' contributions reinvigorate players' love for a game. By installing mods, you join in this circle of collaboration, showing appreciation for the talent and innovation that drives the modding community forward. It's proof that it isn't just entertainment, it's a collective art form. Though installing mods can be effortless, you can of course come across technical hiccups. Whether it's a minor compatibility issue or a forgotten installation step, troubleshooting is often part of the experience. But honestly, there's an abundance of help, guides, forums, tutorials to walk you through any challenges. Channels like mine, you can always go into the comment section and ask people. People are generally pretty helpful. With a bit of trial and error, you can quickly become adept at ensuring any of your mods will work seamlessly. One of the greatest things about the modding community is its commitment to support. If you ever run into issues, modders and fellow enthusiasts are here to help. This shared problem solving fosters a sense of community and encourages learning through collaboration. Over time, you'll gain a deeper understanding of how mods function, turning any initial confusion into confidence. Remember, every obstacle is a stepping stone towards mastering an art. Mods offer an incredible range of options, from small tweaks that subtly improve gameplay to ambitious creations that feel like entirely new games. You fancy better lighting effects or an updated UI? There's a mod for it. You want to ride dragons in Minecraft, turn Fallout into a real survival horror game, or put vehicles in it? There's a mod for that. Mods let you explore these exciting what-if scenarios. With hundreds of thousands of mods available, potentially even more across the gaming industry, you'll find something for every taste and interest. The diversity of mods ensures endless replayability, giving you reasons to revisit games long after completing them. So whether you're looking for minor adjustments, total overhauls, or entirely new worlds, mods cater to every preference. When you install mods, you're opening the door to experiences as diverse and as limitless as your imagination. There's always another amazing mod to discover. We can't talk about modding without acknowledging the incredible people who make all of these mods possible. Mod creators are the driving force behind the magic, transforming games through their ideas, skills and dedication. Their contributions enrich the gaming world, offering players new ways to enjoy these favourite titles. To every modder out there, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your hard work, creativity and perseverance. Your mods inspire gamers, bring communities together and prove that gaming is truly a collaborative art form. Whether your creation is big or small, every mod leaves a lasting impact, and installing mods is our way of showing appreciation and saying thank you for everything you do. Of course, you can donate to many mod creators as well on pages like Nexus. Let's not forget stories behind the mod. Every project reflects hours of design, coding and testing. Mods often push boundaries, challenging convention and introducing bold new ideas that redefine gameplay. Their efforts make gaming richer, more dynamic and endlessly exciting. So next time you install a mod, take a moment to celebrate the brilliant minds behind it. You're supporting artists who are changing the gaming world one idea at a time. Every gamer can start the modding journey today. No complex tools or expertise required. Modding isn't about perfection, it's about enjoying the creativity of others and experiencing a game in exciting new ways. If you haven't explored mods yet, now's the time to dive in. From simple enhancements to completely new adventures, modding offers infinite possibilities. After you install any mods, take a moment to appreciate these brilliant minds behind them. Gaming isn't just about playing, it's about sharing creativity and making art together. Modding lets you rediscover the magic of gaming in entirely new ways, offering fresh perspectives and unlimited customization. With every mod installed, you're exploring the combined talents of creators from around the world, building connections and embracing ingenuity. So take the plunge, explore the extraordinary, and enjoy the adventure that modding offers. It's your gateway to gaming and an experience like no other.
What if a mod wasn't just an add-on, but the birth of a whole new game? Mods are not simply an extension of play, they're acts of rebellion against the boundaries of design. They begin as whispers, small experiments, but sometimes they grow into voices that reshape entire genres. A mod can take the bones of a familiar world and breathe it into a soul, so different that it ceases to be a modification at all. Think of Counter-Strike, born from Half-Life's DNA, but transformed into a tactical ballad of precision and teamwork. It wasn't just a shooter anymore, it was a philosophy of competition, a new way of thinking about digital conflict. These are not tweaks, they are metamorphoses. They remind us that creativity is not bound by the limits of a developer's visions. Sometimes, the most important revolutions come not from studios, but from communities daring to ask, what if this game becomes something else entirely? Gameplay is not static, it's a philosophy of interaction. When players reshape it, they are not just altering difficulty or pacing, they are redefining what it means to play. Half-Life was built as a single-player shooter, a linear journey through corridors and scripted encounters, yet in the hands of modders, it became Counter-Strike, a tactical dance where every bullet mattered and every decision carried weight. Suddenly, the rhythm of play was no longer about survival against monsters, but about cooperation, precision, and human unpredictability. Warcraft 3 was a strategy game about armies and empires, but modders imagined something entirely different, heroes instead of hordes, and battles defined by individuals rather than legions. From that came DotA, a game where mastery meant not managing resources, but embodying a single character, learning the strengths, weaknesses, and the role in a team. It was a radical rethinking of what strategy could mean. Arma 2, similarly, was a military simulator, a tool for realism, yet modders saw survival in its systems, hunger, thirst, fragility. Then they created DayZ, a world where the enemy wasn't just zombies, but it was scarcity itself. It wasn't about missions anymore, it was about existence. Every character became a story, every decision a gamble. These transformations remind us that gameplay is not fixed. It's fluid, malleable, and capable of becoming something entirely new when imagination dares to push its limits. Aesthetic is not decoration, it is identity. When modders reshape visuals, they are not simply polishing graphics, they are redefining the very soul of a game. Quake's brutal corridors and relentless pace were reimagined into Team Fortress, a world of classes, colours and personalities. What began as a visual and mechanical experiment became a genre-defining identity, proving that style can be as transformative as mechanics. Skyrim's familiar fantasy, which was born as Enderal, a total conversion that replaced the entire world, story and atmosphere. It wasn't just a new look, it was a new philosophy of role-playing. Enderal asked different questions, told different stories and carried different emotional weight. It was proof that a game's engine could be a canvas for entirely new worlds. Minecraft Sandbox was reshaped into Pixelmon, a universe of creatures and battles. The blocky landscapes became stages for entirely new adventures where exploration wasn't about mining or crafting, but about catching, training and battling. The aesthetic shift was more than just cosmetic, it was a redefinition of purpose. Mechanics are the laws of possibility. To change them is to rewrite the universe itself. Warcraft 3's custom maps turned strategy into defence, birthing the tower defence game. What began as a playful experiment became a genre that still thrives today. From mobile games to indie hits, it was proof that mechanics could be stripped down, reimagined and rebuilt into something entirely new. Arma 3's experiments with last man standing mechanics became the foundation for PUBG. What started as a mod was redefined into a standalone game, igniting the global battle royale phenomenon. Suddenly, the rhythm of play was no longer about missions or objectives, but about survival against dozens of other players, each encountering a story of tension and unpredictability. Half-Life 2 Sandbox experiment became Gary's mod, a playground where rules dissolved and creativity became the only mechanic. It wasn't just a game, it was a platform. A space where players could invent their own genres, their own worlds, and their own philosophies of play. These were not just mere adjustments, they were revolutions in design, and proof that the rules of play are never sacred, and that new genres can emerge from the courage to break them. Some mods grow so fast that they shed their skin of their parents' games. They become standalone worlds, carrying their communities into the futures and the original developers never imagined. Half-Life 2 gave birth to Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat and Natural Selection among others, each beginning as a mod, each becoming a full game in its own legacy. These weren't side projects, they were inheritances, proof that mods can outlive the games they were born from. StarCraft's custom maps became the crucible of esports, shaping competitive gaming culture itself. What began as playful experimentation became the foundation of professional competition, a movement that transformed gaming into a spectator sport. Skyrim's Enderal was not just a mod but a full RPG, a testament to the idea that fans can build worlds as rich and as complex as the studios can, if not more. It stood shoulder to shoulder with AAA titles, proving that passion and imagination can rival budgets and marketing. These weren't additions, they're rebirths. They remind us that mods are not just features, they're legacies, capable of carrying games into the future that their creators never foresaw. Worlds are not boundaries, they are beginnings. To expand them is to imagine new universes, each with its own laws, stories and communities. Warcraft 3 DotA wasn't just an expansion, it was the seed of an entire competitive universe. It took the mechanics of strategy game and reshaped them into something entirely different, a universe of heroes, roles and endless battles. Minecraft's Terra Firma Craft turned a playful sandbox into a brutal survival sim. Suddenly the game wasn't about creativity but about endurance. Every block became a resource, every decision a matter of survival. Half-Life's Sven co-op transformed a solitary shooter into a shared adventure. What was once isolation became companionship, proving that even the most solitary experiences can rewrite into collective journeys. These expansions remind us that these worlds are infinite, and that imagination is the only map we need. Stories are not fixed, they are living dialogues between creators and players. Mods that reimagine narrative do not simply add quests, they create new philosophies of meaning. Endriel's Forgotten Stories is from the Skyrim mod, a game with its own lore, characters and emotional resonance. It wasn't just a new adventure, it was a meditation on fate, morality and human fragility. Half-Life 2 became the Stanley Parable, a meta-narrative experiment that questioned choice, freedom and the nature of games themselves. It wasn't about shooting or surviving, it was about meaning, about the relationship between player and creator. Fallout New Vegas became Fallout New California, a new campaign that just felt like a full expansion, reshaping a wasteland into a different narrative universe. It wasn't just more content, it was a new story and a new philosophy of what Fallout could be. These weren't additions, they're reinterpretations, proof that storytelling is never finished but always evolving. Mods are not just about reshaping mechanics or visuals, they are about reshaping culture. They remind us that games are not isolated products, but living canvases shaped by collective imagination. When communities gather around a shared vision, something extraordinary happens. A simple experiment can evolve into a genre, a playful idea can become a global phenomenon, and a passion project can outlive the game it was born from. What begins as curiosity often grows into legacy, carried forward by thousands of players who refuse to let a world fade. Mods matter because they prove that creativity is communal. They show us that the future of gaming is not only in the hands of developers, but in the hands of players who dare to imagine together. And in that shared act of creation, we see truth. Games are not static, they are alive, and the greatest revolutions are born from us. When mods change everything, they remind us that games aren't just products, they're canvases, and the artists are us.